Is up, everyone? Welcome to the Stylus League. I have my friend Danny here, Mr. Point Pusher. How you doing this evening, brother?
Doing all right, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. You know what? You have full screen. I'm gonna go full screen. How about that? What you think about them apples, brother? All right.
Boom, do it.
Yeah. So this is all some real on the cuff. I ran in here because I was getting coffee. And my coffee's on the counter in the other room, so I didn't even get my coffee. That was kind of a botched mission right there.
Go get your coffee.
We can hold it down. Go get your
coffee.
We can
hold it down. Go get your coffee.
I'll get my coffee real quick. Danny, you guys talk amongst yourself. Okay. Coffee talk.
Hey.
Got you. Yeah.
What's up, MJ? What's up, Falls? Thank you
guys for tuning in.
Thank you.
Yeah. How you doing tonight, bro?
Good. How was your day?
My day was very good.
Good.
Yeah.
We had a lot of content drop this week. Just happy that we made it all everyone made it to Friday. Hopefully everyone's staying safe and enjoying your time.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I think I told you this before. There was a guy I used to work with who later got diagnosed with cancer, or he knew he had cancer at this point, but I didn't know he had cancer. And one day I came in like, oh man, I've been waiting for Friday all week, blah, 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 blah. And he was like, don't rush to Friday, man. You only get so many. And that always stuck with me. So I always try to not be like super Friday-ish. But yeah, but I did think yesterday was Friday at one point and somebody said it was Thursday. And I was like, oh man. So,
That's crazy. Danny's starting on a super high note for the jump ball.
Yeah. So technically Danny's been on a Friday since yesterday, so he's 2 days in.
Exactly.
There you go.
So I don't know if you guys
Hello from Norway.
What's up, Norway?
Wow. What is going on? Yo, so I don't know if you guys can see a theme. Can you see a theme anywhere in here? A theme?
Hey, Mike.
Yes, sir.
Doom time, son. Doom time.
It is doom time. The ring is in the other room, so no doom right now. This is like the most exercise I've gotten all week, you guys. All right. Okay, so let's start this thing off right. So if you're new to the stream, you want to know what's going on. This is our brand new stream. It is no longer Mic Drops Live. It is the Stylus League. You can see it up in the corner over there. And Danny, Mr. Point Pusher Williams is here with me. I got Mr. All Night Bradley is here on the producing side. We're going to be doing
what's up, Distract?
Oh, Distract is in here. What's up, man?
Yeah.
So if you missed Danny and my announcement, we're doing a new format, right? It's not just in here doing whatever, right? Danny, what are we doing tonight? Tell them about it.
Well, the whole thing with this is that we're supposed to be trying to get better at, making content for ourselves and treating ourselves like our client. So giving ourselves an assignment, a deadline, and then sort of reporting that out to you and showing you the process as we go along. So we got our first 3-week assignment. You want to break it down for them?
Yes, sir. Okay. So MJ, what's up? So we're working on 80's cartoons. 80's cartoons is the theme. So if we share our screens, I'm going to share my screen here. You can see I'm starting to collect some reference for a little show you might have heard of. I don't know. It's a little known show, but some folks might know about it. Called the Thundercats.
Lightning Kittens, right?
Lightning Kittens. That is right.
Lightning Kittens. Yes, exactly.
That's correct. And Danny, what have you chosen to work on?
I am working. I don't know how to do the behind the scenes share my screen yet. So Brad, help me out. Okay, I'm already sharing it.
I thought you were gonna do OBS today, but I'll just add your screen.
No. I'm doing OBS.
You just make your desktop as a screen.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Got you. I'm sorry. There you go. Yeah. All right. How's that?
That's
All right, let me remove this one. I'll add this one.
okay. And add your camera to that one too, so the folks can see you while you're doing your thing.
Yeah. So, sorry about that, everybody. Let's do this, the magic of OBS.
That's all right. This is
all right, cool.
Boom.
okay.
So, I am working on Masters of the Universe. Now, a little inside baseball. I wanted to work on another property. Somebody else already snatched that property up, and it wasn't Mike. So, see how it is, Brad.
Yeah.
It's all right.
You know,
I still love you.
I still love you. I appreciate that.
Brad, what is it you're working on, Brad?
So of course, me being me, I'm going off theme, but I was going to work on Goliath from the Gargoyles, and being that, I round up, I started in the 90s understanding what's happening in the world, so I'll do a 90s.
Damn, he just called us old Mike.
Yeah, totally. Hey, listen, man, I had a guy yesterday who told me that I was I was doing well for somebody in their mid 60s. I was like, yo.
Woo. Well, you did. Didn't you make that joke last time that you were in your 60s? Is that where they got that from?
Maybe. I don't know. I was like, where'd you get that from?
I thought you joked around about that.
I don't know. Let me ask you all a question. All right. So Danny and I are both using Pure Ref. We're on that right now. Yep. I have a picture that I just brought in. Danny, is too big. Is there a way in Pure Ref to crop without taking this into Photoshop and cropping it and bringing it back?
There is. My friend Brad told me that you can go ahead and select the object or select the image, hold C, click and drag, and then it will crop out.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
Yeah, seriously, I had no idea this was a thing. And if you want to reset it, there's a reset hotkey, but you can also just go over to images, I think.
Wait a minute. You can undo it too?
Yeah, you can say reset cropping. So Control Shift C. It'll reset the cropping.
That's bananas.
So select it, C, do that. And it makes like a little window in a window, and then Control Shift C. And it'll pop it right back. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, I had no idea.
That's pretty amazing, actually. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Shout out to super producer Bradley for picking that one out, Mr. All Night.
Yes, sir.
Cool.
ML.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the kind of go through. So we have a clear idea. So Mike, you're doing. It looks like Thundercats. And Danny, what are you working on?
I'm going to be working primarily on a Skeletor. I have some dark ideas. So there you go.
Just don't get too twisted. Don't get too twisted.
Oh, it's going to be terrible.
All right. So what I'll do is everyone in the comments, as you start to look at the work that they're doing, please ask questions. Again, the energy that you guys put at us, we put it back at them. And to keep them going. So we need you guys to chime in just as much as we need them to crank out and show some good work.
Yeah. And then one thing before we get started, right? So this is going to be a 3-week challenge, right? So in 3 weeks, we're going to try and complete this piece and get it as far as we can get it. And part of that is like declaring sort of what we want the assignment to be, right? So if this was for a client, what is the deliverable? Is it going to be a still image? Is it going to be a turntable? Like what do you want to have? I'll go first for myself. I want to have something that's 3D, lit, rendered, and sort of turning in the round, sort of like a figure, like a statue. What are you going for, Mike?
Same.
All right. Cool. All right. It's out there. It's in the world. It's in the universe. We can't take it back.
Yeah. No, we can't take it back. We can't take it back. Yeah. So
for those, go ahead.
No, you go.
I was gonna say for those who just joined in, we are streaming for 2 hours tonight. So we're gonna have a hard stop at 11 p.m. EST time. So make sure while you're here, ask questions and stay with us.
Yep.
Yeah. And this is going to be our thing from now on. So what we've realized is left to our own devices, we will be on here all night. And we have, in fact, we started early, like early for us, 9 o'clock last week. And would we get out of here at like almost 1 o'clock, if not 1 o'clock?
Something like that.
It was crazy. So
Yeah.
we can't do that tonight. Also, we got a little something that we're supposed to be doing afterwards, aren't we, Bradley? What are we doing after? What do we have going on after this thing?
We have a Mortal Kombat watch party with our winner. I will announce our winner at 10 o'clock our time, EST. So stay with us and stay tuned, and our winner will be announced then.
Yeah. And to the people that are watching, that are artists, thank you so much for tuning in. And also, hopefully this can be an impetus for you as well. If you're like me and Mike, Mike and I, we do stuff really differently, but one of the things we had in common was, we both have a graveyard full of stuff that never got finished. So maybe if you want, like, fire up your application of choice and, like, join us. You don't have to do the same challenge we're doing, but if you're working on something that's your own personal work, maybe do the same thing, right? Try and see what you can complete in a certain amount of time, right? So
100%. That's an awesome idea, Danny. Like to because this, like, we talk about this in our kind of teaser of what the show is going to be about, and we really want this to be a community deal, right? So if we're in here working and you have some coffee, no matter what time it is, you drink it and you work too, and it feels like I started working freelance back in 2003. It's a long time ago, and I've been out of a studio for most of that time, right? I think there was a year or two that I went back. But when I first went and was working at home, it was crazy. Like, I was going bananas. I was bouncing off the walls, and I just couldn't focus. I couldn't get anything done. So being able to come into a room like this is what we did. Like, we would have little chats or whatever. We'd hop in, we'd work together, the old lunch crunch, right, Danny? And and so pick up a pen, stylus, or whatever, get some work done while you're in here with us, you guys.
Yeah.
Kev J Art says he's working on a commission while you guys work right now. So
nice.
You're
better than us, sir. You are getting paid for what you're doing right now. That's awesome.
That is good.
We have an Angelo that says, "Hey, Mike and Professor Williams, hyped to see you guys doing this."
Nice.
Oh man, is that Angelo Martin?
Yes, it is.
Nice. What's up, sir? What's up, sir? Angelo did a killer piece. We had a class together not too long ago, and he did this really, really beautiful piece that's getting a lot of love online right now. So yeah, check out Angelo Martin 3D if you haven't on IG. He's phenomenal.
That's awesome.
So Mike, so you're still collecting. So kind of talk to, if you guys could kind of talk about how you arrange your reef boards when you're making these ideas and you're collecting references. Do you have a way that you like to arrange your reference when you're collecting it?
Go ahead, Danny. You want to go first?
Yeah, sure. For me, so something I learned from a friend of mine, Letitia Gillett she's at Disney now. She's at Blizzard for a long time. She's been at DreamWorks. I used to like go ham collecting reference because I was one of those people that was misguided for a long time and didn't collect enough reference for a long time. Like, it's got to be in my head. And as I got older, I learned that, it's never going to all be in your head. You should get reference. So I would go really crazy with reference. And then as I started to do that and like budget time for that, I saw Letitia give a talk and she was like, I stopped going for so many bits of reference and I just get a really limited number up front just to get me going. And then after that, if I feel like it's too repetitive or I'm not getting what I need, then I go start looking for what's different than that. And I thought that was such a good bit of advice. So now I limit myself to, no more than like, 20, 30 pieces and just leave it at that for as long as I can. And I start dropping pieces out later on when I realize that they're not actually helping. Right.
Yeah.
So try to prune it.
Yeah. I'm far less organized with mine. The first thing I'll do is I'll look for stuff that, clearly is what I'm working on. So, I went and grabbed Thundercat stuff. And then after that, I was like, all right, let me look at some artists that kind of do this stuff, like Boris Vallejo and Frazetta was kind of dope. And now I'm looking for dynamic poses. So just to give you guys an insight into what the dirty behind the scenes is as far as my workflow goes. I can draw. I've spent a lot of years drawing, but I'm not like Danny. Like Danny, like right off the dome, can do some crazy drawings that look like he, spent hours and hours on them. I'm not like that. Like my sketches are hot garbage, but I can take those and massage them a little bit and turn them into something that that I can use. It's serviceable for me to use as a basis for my sculpt. So that's why I'm not super eager to show you my sculpt, my sketch skills. But yeah, especially with Danny in the room. This is only going to get worse as we get guests too, by the way.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. We have guests coming on eventually that this first run, this first sort of project is just us. But
Yeah.
we have guests lined up that are basically going to be committing to doing the projects with us.
Yeah.
So the theme won't be the same, but those guests will come on and they will, commit to doing 3 weeks with us and work on a thing that we all agree on at some point, So
Right.
yeah,
And
that part's
we,
going to be cool.
that's right. And we've got guys who are professionals, like top guns in the industry. One of the people that we're going to bring on, I'm not going to say who anybody is right now because we haven't locked them in for the dates, but I spoke to a comic book artist that is super excited to come in. We have sculptors, we have toy developers and things like that. So it's going to be
illustrators.
it's going to be kind of big.
Yeah. So yeah, that part's going to be great. And what Mike was saying about my drawing, thank you so much, sir. But when you look at Mike's paintings, it's obvious. Like, yeah, his command of form, light, material description, all that kind of stuff. I don't have that part. So that's where I go, all right, the sketch is done. I'm jumping to 3D and I'm going to use that as my complete crutch, So that's sort of, I think we complement each other well, So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to learning from you, sir. So
yeah, that's and listen, that's part of the reason that that I'm doing this is selfish, right? Because I am I'm a big fan of Danny's work. I'm a giant fan of process videos. Like I'll get on people's like process videos and just stay there. You know what I'm saying? So being able to bring in guys who are who are doing like amazing things in the industry and just see how they work is going to be, that's massive for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So the great thing about it is we're bringing along everybody else. You know what I mean? So like there's like-minded people who also want to see all that stuff.
Yeah.
So again, thank you everyone for tuning in. What I will ask, we're going for the next 30 days, we're going to be streaming on multiple platforms, on YouTube, on Mike's channel, but we also are streaming right now to our Stylus League page on YouTube. So we definitely need you guys to like and subscribe onto that page, because eventually we're going to move off of this one and move on to that one. So please go there, subscribe, and we need your support to keep this going, to keep this free, and to keep everyone engaged.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Also, giant thanks to whoever tuned in to my no worries, man. My stream for Pixelogic yesterday, because I got numbers that I've never seen before. Like it's already, and this is not on some, hey, I'm bragging stuff. I'm honestly surprised. And I think it maybe is because there's a lot of X-Men fans out there. But I was telling the guys earlier that it's at like 5K already. And that's bananas. So thank you for everybody that was in there. You guys were like hitting me up with questions fast and furious. So if I didn't answer, now is a perfect time to ask, and
Yes.
it might be even more suited to Danny. So please, I had somebody asking me some animation questions yesterday, Danny. So like sculpting for animation, and I think that I was like, yeah, let's ask Danny tomorrow if you guys come back.
Oh, yeah, for sure. If
Yeah.
anybody has anything like that, I could give you my best guess.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Look, while we're waiting for those questions to roll in, Danny, why don't you let people know? Because I mean, I'm constantly yapping about what I do.
Yeah.
Let people who maybe aren't familiar with what you do, let them know some of your background.
Sure. I started working a long, long time ago when you know there was no such thing as streaming. um,
Mm.
and uh, I started working at Blue Sky Studios a long time ago. I stayed there for way too long, and then ended up uh, moving to the West Coast, where I worked on video games and at DreamWorks for a few years, and then moved back east, worked on video games again for Activision Company. The Diablo 2 remaster that's coming out now was the last thing. Actually, the Tony Hawk was the last thing I worked on, but the Diablo 2 remaster I worked on as well. The Crash Bandicoot remake. So yeah, I was working at a studio called Vicarious Visions, and then I went back to DreamWorks when everybody went virtual. Actually, right before I was working from home. Right before working from home became the norm, and then so that was just weird serendipity. And then I got a call from someone at Netflix who I had one conversation with many, many years ago, but who I've always wanted to work with. And he asked me if I wanted to move over to Netflix Animation, and that's where I've been for the last like 5 months, something like that. So
Dope.
yeah, it's been pretty cool.
And you said that this Netflix gig is like that's your dream job, right? You were like, even though you've been
It's
at the other places, this is the big one.
Yeah, this is the big one right now. This is the kind of work I'm doing. I'm really into. So it's like look development work for projects
Mhm.
before they get made, and the company as a whole, like behind the scenes, we talk about a lot of stuff. And I was telling these guys that it's nice to work for a company that seems to put the money where their mouth is in terms of a lot of cool progressive ideas that I dig personally.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
I see them with the way that they hire and the projects they greenlight and all that kind of stuff. I see them sort of doubling down, not just saying it, but doing it. Other
Mhm.
companies, I feel like sometimes just say that they're going to do some things. So
Right.
I'm enjoying it a lot. I hope I can stay there for a long time. I really, really dig it.
That's dope, man.
Yeah, it's been good.
So I just
Yeah.
want to take the time to remind everyone that Mike has a Gumroad out that's on pre-order. That Gumroad is for his anti-venom. The pre-orders end at the end of the month, April 30th. For those who pre-order, the anti-venom will get a custom paint over from Mike. Right
Mhm.
now, the price for that Gumroad is $25. At the end of the month, it will go up to $60. Still a great deal. So please, if we had a lot of questions on Mike's stream around superhero anatomy and creating all of that, that whole process. So you'll definitely get a lot of that content in that Gumroad.
Absolutely. And for the people who have already pre-ordered, thank you so much. Another one of the perks is that I'm going to go through and type out everybody's name, not the whole email address, but just the name that pre-ordered, and share that on my social media with a big thanks, because it's a lot of work. I see why people who do these things, like you got to dedicate a lot of time to it, but I'm hoping that everybody really enjoys it as much as I am creating it. So
We got a question from Toya C. And that question is, thinking back, is there anything you would have told yourself before this even became a career?
Oh man, yes.
what would you say? Because I don't know.
Listen,
Yeah.
listen. You don't know everything. Listen.
Yeah.
That's a big one. And uh, trust your instincts more,
Hmm.
right? And the people doing this stuff are not superheroes, right? So it's like they are regular people like you. They have insecurities just like you. They worry about stuff just like you. Am I good enough? All that stuff, the whole imposter syndrome thing. Even the best people have that.
Yeah.
I've met a few people who don't have that, and it, this is not to say that anybody who doesn't feel that is this way, but just from my own experience, I've met a few people who don't feel that way at all, never have imposter syndrome. They always know that they're good enough or whatever.
Mhm.
And I found that those people typically they're wrong. They think they're better than they are. It's weird.
Right. Right.
But the really 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 good people, like a lot of people, still have
Yeah. Of
that feeling. You know what I mean? So
course.
those are the things I would tell myself. It's not they're not finished products, and
Yeah.
you're not unfinished. You know?
Hmm. Hmm. I think I would probably tell myself to put down the video game controller and concentrate a little more on the craft. I spent a lot of time in my early years in this, um, just doing the 9 to 5. And then I didn't really do a whole lot of, I wasn't kind of intellectually curious about learning more of what goes into what we do until I got older. You know what I mean? And then I couldn't learn enough. Like so now I'm picking up all kinds of books and looking at videos and this that and the other because I can't get enough of it. And getting to know people in the industry like you, Danny, that I can. I mean, Danny knows. Like when I first started learning ZBrush, I reached out to him. I saw his Vimeo and was like, yo, I saw your stuff. This is amazing. Also, your music is dope. And how are you not getting in trouble playing this music? Because Danny uses like real ass Tribe Called Quest cuts and like he's got all the stuff that I love, but he plays it on his things and he doesn't get in trouble. That's his mutant power is
There it is.
he's yeah, exactly. Oh cool. I just got a oh it's so small. It's so small. I just got a subscriber, I think. That's dope. Thank
Okay.
you. I can't see the name.
Thank you, Harry, for the purchase. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Right. Yeah, so that was did a lot of time. I love TV. Like I'm not giving up my TV, but I can watch TV on my second screen while I'm working now.
Hmm.
And so I wish that I had kind of stopped clowning around and got my stuff done more.
Yeah.
Um, I never really
Danny,
questioned. Oh, go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, as far as the skills go, I always know that there's people um, who are doing it better than I am, who are also probably, um, I don't know, I don't want to say younger, but newer to it. And so that's why I'm just like, okay, I need to step it up. So I never feel like I've arrived. I think when you start feeling that way, then you're kind of DOA. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Danny,
What
you
were you
got
gonna say,
quoted
Brad?
by Toya C. Toya C quoted you by saying they're not finished and you're not finished, and she
Yeah,
type signs. You can see it.
absolutely. Yeah, it's true. Because when you're younger, especially, or even not even younger, like Mike said, just new to a field, you tend to think like other people are like finished products, and you have
Hmm.
so much catching up to do. And
Yeah,
sure, they might have more mileage than you in some things, but it doesn't mean you can't have a voice that operates in that space. You know what I mean? So yeah,
exactly.
I think for me also something that I've done in the past is I've really tried to sit here and nail an idea of a sketch before getting to the 3D part. And I think
Hmm.
Hmm.
I've learned for myself over time, like that's a killer. It's like a killer of joy, and I end up tracing the sketch more than trying to find something that works, right? And
Right.
there's a maquette sculptor for film, Kent Melton. He's the goat of that stuff, and he's got a really great quote: "Sculpt characters, not drawings." And I love that, and I'm trying to like think about that as I start to block out some of these ideas. Because it's like, keep it loose, and then you'll figure it out when you get to the 3D part, because you don't want to suck up all the joy right now, but just get the idea down.
Right.
You know?
That's right.
So stick with us, everyone. So Mike and Danny right now, they're just doing a quick 2D sketch just to get an idea and a concept down, and then we're going to switch over to 3D so they can start working through that process. We're going to structure the streams where we're going to stay on for 2 hours. And then after that 2 hours, anything that the team does off hours will be some quick time lapses that you're going to see on the Stylus League YouTube channel. So if you go to, please subscribe on the Stylus League YouTube channel. At the end of May, we're going to be exclusively there in Twitch. So make sure you like and subscribe on that channel, because that's where we're moving. And stick with us and ask questions. We need the love, we need the questions, we need the follows, and we need the likes.
That's right.
We need YouTube to pay for this, right? We need to get those ads, we need to get those follows. We need YouTube to keep the support for you guys. Let everyone else, let those ads pay for this content.
Absolutely. Hey, Brad, the music dropped out, man. I just realized.
Oh yeah.
Oh, didn't know that.
I didn't even realize.
I was like, we're in here chopping it up. It sounds a little too casual.
Somebody get the DJ.
Working on it. The thing is, what's funny is I hear it because it's on my thing, but you guys don't hear it.
Nah.
Being selfish with the music.
I'm sorry. You know how it is. You know how it
Horrible.
is.
Horrible.
So
this track music for you.
Wow.
Do you guys hear it? Is it back?
Yeah.
All right. Trip.
So listen. nothing that my son listens to, please. What was I gonna say? So we're not gonna talk about it, but we're all caught up, right? We all saw Invincible.
Yep.
We saw Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. So those were
worth the watch?
crazy. Yeah. So I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Thank you guys for shaming me into watching Invincible.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, absolutely. You're like me trying to convince Brad to watch Rick and Morty. Like, I just don't understand why this is even a conversation.
No, I'm all caught up and I dig it.
Nice.
Wait, let me squint. Is that Corel Painter? I thought you were using Photoshop all this time. That's low.
No, I'm using Corel Painter for whatever reason, right? So like my students use Photoshop, and every time I have to teach a class and do a draw over on their work, for whatever reason, my pressure sensitivity drops out. And that happened again this morning. I'm like, I'm not even taking any chances. Also, I really like sketching in Painter in addition to painting. Like, I love their pencil.
Nice.
And I will say, just having Danny in here has scared me into having a better sketch than I normally have, because normally it's like
out of here,
straight trash.
I absolutely don't want to scare you. It's not like Danny's on his second sketch.
Shut up.
Oh, how many have you done? How many have you done, dude?
None good yet, so you're straight.
No, that's not cool at all, dude.
None good yet.
Whatever. All right, now I'm gonna start number 2 now, you jerk. I'm doing it Danny's way too.
Harrison, they like Invincible too. Invincible is one of the only comics that kept me going back to the shop for a while.
Man,
Yeah, I just started
Was it you
getting
that put me on Invincible? I didn't even know it was a thing until you told me about it.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't know about it because I stopped collecting books a while ago, and now what I do, it's pretty sad. But what I'll do is I'll pick up stuff when it goes on sale on Comixology, and I saw that when the show came out on Amazon, they released like all the omnibus series on there. So I was like, oh, let me grab it. I got the first one, which is like 50 books, and was like, all right, let me give this a read and see what's up. Man, oh man, like the book is good. Kirkman is a monster. The book is good. The series is good. Like it's all good, man.
Yeah, I am.
DJ Scope said they can't wait for Jupiter's Legacy.
Yeah, when is that coming? That's soon, right? Or is it? I don't even know for certain.
For sure, it's next month.
Okay.
Mr. Andy said he needs that Stylus League hat and shirt. Need that merch.
Nice.
Yeah, you and me too.
Sir.
Yep, that's right. We're gonna get that merch.
It's in the works. There's some pieces in some Stylus League content that we have not pushed out on social media because we want to make sure it's something that, if you guys are following us, we're going to make sure that you guys see it first and have access to it first for our subscribers. So please like and subscribe on the Stylus League channel. We definitely need you there.
Absolutely. So we're all set up on Stylus League now? We're going to have it on Stylus League and my thing, or are we all good on Stylus now?
Stylus League is live. It's up and running, but we'll ease off. We'll ease them off of yours in a little bit. Some people may come in and see this a couple weeks later, and you move houses and they knock on your door. Like they knock on your door and you're not there, Mike. You gotta at least answer.
Exactly. Like, what are these, Jehovah's Witnesses? I don't know, y'all.
We're not touching it. We're not touching that, everyone. We're not touching that one, everyone.
All right.
You see, Mike
Brad
makes my job hard. All right, he makes my job hard. All right,
you act like you don't hide when you see. Oh, come on, Danny. What are you doing, man?
What are you talking about?
All right, that's the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Shut up.
Peace. We'll see you next week.
Oh, my Photoshop broke. Look. Hold on.
That's what you get. That's what you get.
That's what you get.
I'll be coming in here doing all that, man. What you doing?
Like he's like Picasso right now.
For real, I'm leaving. I'm leaving.
You know what? You know what Mike just did? Mike just like, I hope his file get corrupted. And look.
Hey, look, I didn't say that out loud. I might have thought it. Yeah. All right. Just for that, I'm leaving 2D. I'm going to 3D now. Thanks a lot.
All right.
Fine. I'll do
tapped out.
the
Tapped out.
Yeah.
MJ says Danny's so good he broke Photoshop Flex.
Yeah, right. I
Exactly.
wish.
You know what's funny? Mike said that how his Photoshop pen since you stopped working, and then those vibes caused yours to break.
There it is. Because Photoshop is normally fine for me. Mike came in here with his Corelness and expected me.
Shout out to Corel. I am one of their Corel painter masters, which is we don't joke about Corel.
We're not saying a bad thing about Corel.
There you go.
Exactly. No,
actually,
Corel is dope.
Corel or Netflix, man, they should really raise our subscription prices. I love them that much.
There you go.
No joke. Like Netflix came in a pinch throughout COVID. I gotta give it to them.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not even a joke.
That's not even a joke.
Mm-mm. All right.
Let's see.
Brad asks Mike, "What is that mug? I want to see your mug. Throw the mug up."
Brad Grotman. Yo, okay, let me tell you something. Bradley, no offense. Brad is the first Brad that I've been hanging out with. We've known each other for how many years, Brad? like 5, 6, 7 years, and have been working. This is some Wakanda business right here. So shout out to Brad, and also congratulations for staying up this late, my friend.
So what you trying to say is I'm nobody. I understand.
Not at all. You're
Oh, you're just the bootleg Brad. That's all.
you're
Listen.
I didn't say that. Oh my gosh.
I've been trying to delete you this whole time, Danny, and I can't. I can't delete you.
Danny's artwork made me hot. I got to take off my sweatshirt.
Hey,
Yeah, okay.
This is
That's
a
not
semi. This is only a rated R channel, so let's not get MA, Mike. All right, it's only rated R.
Rated R. No. Yeah, no. You come in here with that fire sketch.
Sure.
Nice mug.
Thank you.
MJ says Danny already has a mesh created.
A mesh imported.
Hey,
Yes,
we're not. Let's not put all this pressure on Mike. Let's.
Hey, listen.
A mesh
just-
imported. Mike's gonna be fine. Don't worry.
Mike had a hard
Just
week
so
this
you
week,
know,
all right?
just so you know, I have a mesh as well that I'm gonna use that I made, so you guys can all shut up.
So what I love about this is you guys get to see different processes and different approaches, and there's more than one way to dice this up. So pick one.
Yeah.
Also,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say Brad Grotman. Don't say anything. Brad is a teacher, and he loves to make fun of my very scatological file structure. So by that I mean I'm not organized, and he loves to point that out every chance he gets. What were you going to say, Danny?
Nice. No, I was going to say the mesh that I'm using is the one that you download from Mixamo, and it comes in at a scale. Since I'm probably going to be rendering in Maya at the end of this, it comes in at a scale that works for Arnold really well. So it's a 5'8" human. So when you bring in something that large, though, in ZBrush, the brush size won't go up high enough by default. So I have a version of this where I scaled it down by exactly 1/10. So I can map everything out here, and when I get really close with the mesh, or when I want to do some retopo, when I pop it over into Maya, if I'm finishing in Maya, I just scale it up, 10 times. And it's now real world scale because I started with this as a measurement. So I like to use this as a measurement tool. There's probably a million better ways to do it, but that's the way I've been doing it lately.
That is fresh. All right, and I'm going to take something that looks like it is not Lion-O, and I'll get him there.
So I want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. We're going for 2 hours tonight, so we will end at 11 EST. Please make sure you go over to our Stylus League YouTube page and subscribe there, like there, follow us there. We will be moving out of Mike's house at the end of May. And don't worry, we're still gonna have Mike drops videos. What the team's gonna do in between live streams, they're gonna do some speed sculpts or time lapses of the pieces that they're working on, and you're going to see the time lapses only on the Stylus League page. So whatever we can't get to on the live stream, they're going to continue to work on this. We're going to work on it for about 3 weeks, and that way you guys can see the process from beginning to end.
Yep.
If you have any questions, please comment, shoot them over to us, and I'll make sure to pass over to the guys and get them answered. But you know what I realized, guys? You know, if a lot of our audiences are working as you guys are working, they might just be watching.
Hipster line.
Listen to this great music.
How about that? Yeah, how about it?
Armando says Danny Williams.
Oh man, what's up, sir? That's another killer artist.
Nathan said most definitely. Thanks, Nate. So we have about maybe about 30, 40 people watching across our multiple streams. If you guys would go over, if half of you, more than half of you would go over to our Stylus League page and subscribe there, that would help push us over the edge. So we have a goal of getting 100 subscribers to that page by the end of May. There's certain things that are blocked off to us because we don't have enough subscribers on YouTube. So go there, subscribe, and we can continue to get YouTube to fund this art. Hashtag YouTube Fund Stylus League. We all have been eating at ramen noodles, trying to do some work, trying to hustle.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Harry. Oh, I refreshed the page. We went from 18 to 30.
Nice
Subscribers on our Stylus League page.
It's
nice.
Keep giving it to us, guys. Keep giving it to us. Got a question for Falls. Do you guys still draw with sketchbooks?
Not enough.
Yeah, I haven't done it in a while. It's just too easy to do it on some type of screen. I guess
It always feels better though. Like I will say, you know, I know when I was a lot younger, I was a person that was very much like, you know, oh, old heads only love old stuff, you know. Mm-hmm. And now that I'm an older head, I gotta say it does. I think sketching on paper just feels better, but I just never do it because, you know,
yeah,
I'm always on the damn computer.
Exactly.
Thank you. Great question. MJ says he just want to know when we're going to get the sweet Stylus League decoder rings.
Be sure to drink your Ovaltine.
Yeah, right. There you go. That's Ovaltine, Grandpa. Got a random question for you guys.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Favorite animated film?
Ooh.
Of all time?
All time.
Spider-Verse.
Man.
Spider-Verse.
How about you, Brad?
Change the game.
Man. Spider-Verse is definitely the most recent. But if I had to say animated of all time, jeez. Damn, Danny, you like the hardest. You go hard with these. I'll tell everybody a story later of what you did to me, but yeah, I have to say Into the Spider-Verse is probably it.
Yeah, same. For me, for a lot of years, it was Iron Giant. Spider-Verse changed it.
Yep.
So no hot takes there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what did you expect one of us to have, like just some out of the blue type joint?
Yeah.
No, I just didn't know.
Yeah.
I just didn't know.
I was Brad, what Brawly Returns, from Dragon Ball, But we all know how you feel about Dragon Ball.
Hey, if you like it, I love it.
No.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Danny loves it.
I'm gonna tell you guys a story that Danny did to me, like out of the blue. like on a Sunday like afternoon, like fresh noon. All right. Danny calls me and he's mad serious and he's like, Bradley, if you had to choose this one candy and it was going to disappear forever, and these are your two choices: Kit Kat bars or Reese's peanut butter cups.
Is that where that came from?
Yeah.
Well, no.
guys
So
have been
hold
talking
on. Let me explain what happened. Right, my wife and I were talking to my sister-in-law on the phone, and she said something about candy, and my wife remarked, I don't like the big Reese's peanut butter cups because it's too much. The little ones are like perfect, right? And I was like, I would agree with that. And then we started getting into a debate with my sister-in-law on the phone because we're all bored out of our minds during COVID. And that was what came up. Basically, my wife and I agreed that like if you took something like a Kit Kat is better in the large size than the Reese's. But in the small size, if you take the two small ones, like little Halloween style ones, the Reese's wins every time. Just something about the small Reese's is better. And my sister-in-law thought we were crazy, so I just started calling people at random. And Brad was one of those people. We each called like 10 people and threw them on speakerphone, and that was our afternoon, sitting there cracking up.
It's crazy.
Laughing at people's response.
I heard you guys talking about that in the chat this week, and I was like, well, I know what the right answer is, but why are you asking this question?
Oh, now what's the right answer, though?
Between Kit Kat and Reese's?
Well, no. It's a two-parter, right? Part one is if you say, hey, you know what? Like for the I guess the regular size ones, right?
Yeah.
Which one would you go, Kit Kat or Reese's?
Regular size.
Yeah, regular size.
Reese's all day.
Okay, and you do the same thing for the small ones too?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're a serial killer. It's all good.
Oh my gosh. Wait a minute. So
Bear CGW said, kill the Kit Kat.
I mean,
Bear, listen. Bear is legit a serial killer. He is. I know that dude, and he's a bad guy.
Okay, I'm gonna say that serial killer or no, he's correct on this one, 100%. 100%. I don't normally support serial killers. I just want y'all to know that. Disclaimer for the Stylus League.
No,
But,
all jokes aside, Bear is one of my best friends in the whole world, and I can't believe I just said that out loud to be on the internet forever. So thank you for tuning in, buddy.
Hey, Bear, I'll send you a copy of this recording so you can use for later.
Ew. It's disgusting. I still deny it.
That's crazy. So you're more of a Kit Kat guy, Danny? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm saying for the large, like regular size ones, I don't like all that peanut butter in the regular Reese's. But for the small Reese's, it's like sort of a perfect size. So yeah, small Reese's all day.
Wow.
Yeah.
I cannot
For
get
you guys.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Was tattooing ever an option in you guys' life?
Oh, I wanted it to be so bad.
Did you?
I did. When I was younger, I really did. And then there was a time when I was in college where I was like, all right, when I graduate, I got to find somebody to learn to apprentice with and just sort of pay my dues and whatever. And then I found out about our CG program at the college I went to, and I was like, all right, it's a wrap. This is what I want to do.
Yeah, no, I'm too kind of weirded out by people's bodily juices to be messing around with tattooing. That was never an option for me.
What kind of bodily juices you think you're gonna be dealing with, bro?
Blood, son. Blood.
Yeah, that's a thing, I guess.
100%.
MJ said CG saved him from tattooing too.
Nice.
We have a very gifted artist in our family. He has a tattoo shop, and he's amazing. Like the work that he does is crazy. I can't imagine like Like you can't hit control undo on somebody's skin. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
That's true. That's right.
like you got to be surgical with it.
Man, so I would watch any kind of art, like whether it was like body painting or tattooing or whatever. So I've seen a bunch of stuff like Ink Master and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And man, who goes on that show? I don't understand it, because the whole premise is I'm a tattoo artist, Brad, Mike, you're a tattoo artist, and we're trying to screw each other by giving each other
The
difficult
worst canvas.
placements,
Right.
difficult
Yeah.
canvases. And it's like, who, if it's season one, somebody's like, free tattoo from a great tattoo. Sure, I get it.
Yeah.
You fall for it.
Right.
It's in like season 15 or something. How
Yeah.
do people still do that? I don't get it.
I don't get how anybody can come on a TV show and ask somebody to do a head tattoo. Like that's crazy.
Yeah.
They're like, have you never seen an episode of the show? They're like, yo, head tattoo's the hardest. The dude's always shaking by the time they're done with it.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I ain't doing that.
Yep. And it's a big deal, because it's like, you look at it and it's like, man, I don't know. I've seen ones on there where people get like 2 like right feet tattooed on them, or you know what I mean? Like you'll have a character with like two right hands or 2 left hands, and it's like, how do you do it? Like, oh man,
Yeah,
I don't understand.
Put the thumb on the wrong side.
Yeah.
The Oz91 said that I'm a Blender guy, but it's interesting to see how you guys do it in ZBrush. And he also said that he want to get into characters himself soon. So what's really cool about Danny and Mike, regardless of what platform you're using to actually create the art, they're more about the processes and how to do it. So ask questions, you're in the right place. And welcome, subscribe.
Yeah, and I want to be like you. I want to be more of a Blender guy too.
Yeah, I do want to learn some Blender.
So what do you guys got planned this weekend?
I gotta work.
You work
I'm
every day,
behind.
so
Yeah, I'm behind the
that's
eight
a good
ball.
change. That's a good change of pace, Mike.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy is when I'm done with my work, then I have to start editing video for the anti-venom video. So I'll be working for the man, then I'm working for myself. So
Speaking of
That's
anti-venom,
how you became the man.
yeah.
just a reminder that the anti-venom's up on pre-order on Gumroad. Pre-orders in at the end of the month. Right now, it's a cool $25. It will go up to $60, and I still say a great deal. At the beginning of May, for everyone that pre-orders in April, they'll get a cool paint over of the anti-venom from Mike, and he's going to give a special shout out to everyone who pre-ordered as well. So this is Mike's first Gumroad. Let's help him make it successful and share it. And if you can't purchase the Gumroad, you should definitely subscribe to our channel and stay connected with us. And there's going to be a lot of content that's going to help you along the way.
Thanks, sir.
So Armando had just asked Mike and Danny, can you talk about what kind of characters and portfolios make them so, oh my God, this is this is too legit to quit? Right. So I guess he's asking, what type of content or what you should put in your portfolio to make it really stand out to have someone hire you.
So I'm gonna give my point of view, and then Danny, you give yours this time. All right, I'll go first. I would say for your portfolio, first and foremost, put in stuff that you want to do, because a lot of people are worried about being able to do it all, right? So they'll have a little bit of some character design, they'll have some hard surface stuff, they'll have weapon design, environmental, whatever, and they put all this stuff in their book and they turn it in, and they're like, cool, we're going to bring you on and we're going to make you paint environments all day long, or sculpt environments all day long, and it turns out you hate doing that, so don't do that. But to really catch people's eye, put in your best stuff, man. Like, very simple. Put in stuff that is clearly your best work, and don't just fill it up for the sake of filling it up. Only put in things that are going to make people really excited, and they'll see a consistency to your work. So when I'm showing paintings in my portfolio, I'm showing stuff that it might have a variation in the style to it, but it's all to the same type of level of finish, and it really represents what I can do. So that's me. What's up with you, Dan?
Well, I know Armando, and I can say this like without trying to be too sort of cheeky. His portfolio already has everything you need to get hired well. So his work is like super polished. It's really, really beautiful. He does a lot of stylized work, but I know his understanding of shape is good enough to do whatever he wants to do. I think the kind of stuff that really makes the portfolio stand out, unfortunately, is stuff that fits the project a lot of times. So if you're going for like a serious staff hire, you're in a position where you're like, oh yeah, we're hiring someone for the long haul, then sure, maybe you look more at the breadth of work. But it's like, I've seen people with really killer work, but the work doesn't necessarily look like the stuff that's related to that project, and they won't be considered for it, sadly. So like, if you're going to go try and work for Studio X and they do a certain kind of work, really making sure you have work that in your portfolio that fits that is good. If you're like me, you like being a little bit like sort of style agnostic, sort of. So then at that point, you can make a choice of like what portfolios to submit to what studios or companies or projects or whatever. But that's a big one, I think, too. Like making sure you're in the right like ballpark for what they want to make, because the first people seeing your portfolio most of the time are not the kind of serious artists at the studio that are going to be able to see, oh yeah, this guy's got, or this gal's got skills, right? They're not going to be able to see that. It's going to be a lot of the recruiting people that go, we're making a zombie game, this guy's got zombies, send it.
Oh, okay.
Right? And that's sadly the kind of stuff that happens a lot. But yeah, he doesn't have to worry. His work is good. We have a segment where we'll talk about artists, and him and Angelo will be in my artists that I want to showcase and talk about.
Nice. Yeah, Brad, you got to keep your eye on the clock so we can drop both of those segments in. What we're going to do is we're kind of workshopping a couple of things we want to incorporate into the show, some segments, and this week, because it's we're still kind of getting our bearing on exactly how we want to present. We're only going to do a couple of them, but they're important to us. So yeah, look out for that soon.
So awesome! We're at the top of the hour. So, for if our winner is on stream watching us, and I haven't seen him chat yet, but our winner that's going to join us for Mortal Kombat is No Pain ! So No Pain. If you are listening to this, you are our winner to join us for the watch party. Just shoot me a message on here, or I'll try my best to circle back and reach out to you when we're done with the stream. But No Pain is our winner.
Nice. Congratulations.
Nice.
Armando said thank you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, so full disclosure, I had a class at School of Visual Arts a semester or maybe two ago now, and Armando and Angelo both ended up taking the class, and I was already familiar with their work before that. And I pulled them over each individually and was sort of like, what are you guys doing here? Like, you guys don't need to be in my class, So
that's awesome.
Yeah, they're both really great artists. So it was like an honor to have them in there. So it was pretty cool.
Nice. Yeah, I like when you get a rock star in your class, man. That's always fun.
Yeah, it's scary as
Yo,
shit, but it's good.
I got this guy. I'm gonna call him a kid because he's younger than me, but it's very cool because he just decided to go into art as a career, and before that, he was a stunt guy, and I was like,
Wow.
dude, that's cool. I never met a stunt man before. So apparently, he was a stunt man. He injured himself, and he had to decide what he was going to do. And he was like, I really want to give art a go. And so he came in and he was telling me his concerns about it and everything. He didn't know whether it was really going to be for him or whatever. And I was like, well, look, man, you put in the work and we'll see. And this guy is a hustler, man. He has like consistently, you would not know that he's new to artwork. It's crazy. So we were talking the other day. I mean, we all were about having people in your class that they don't. I mean, they pay for the class and then they're just like they're phoning it in, and it's like I just don't get it. Like I understand, when you're like my son's about to graduate and he is he's got the senioritis or whatever. And so I could understand that, but when you're paying for a class or a school or whatever, and you're just not really into it, I don't get that, man. It seems weird to me.
Yeah. I mean, it's one thing if you get there and you realize like, this isn't really what I wanted it to be, and I can't get a refund or whatever. All right, cool. Don't show up, right? Like do everybody a favor. If you've committed to spending the money or whatever, don't show up. But to show up and be a, sort of just a lump sort of sucks.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago when, physical school was still a thing, I was actually taking a commute down to SVA, which door to door is like a 3-hour commute each way. And I was doing it every weekend just to teach this class. And one semester I had a couple of people in the class who they weren't into it. You could tell they were not going to go anywhere with it. It was always an excuse after an excuse.
Yeah.
You come into class a little early and they're always like just doing the homework sort of deal. Sitting there. And it's like, so that sucked. But one of them came back a year later. I saw her name on the roster and I was like, oh God, really? And when she came back, it was my last semester teaching there in person. She pulled me, she asked to talk to me in the first class. She's like, you know what? I was a bonehead and I saw the improvement in other people in the class and I didn't take advantage. And I got my head on straight and I want to redo. So I was like, cool, man, she turned out to be the best student. It was such a good feeling. It was incredible.
Awesome.
It's my favorite teacher moment right there.
Nice.
Lesson.
Yeah, it was great. It was a lesson for me too, because I was judging her hard, like just, what are you doing back here? And I was totally wrong. You could see it almost right away. I was totally wrong.
Nice. Sometimes it takes that, man. Like I was an artist, a staff artist at this t-shirt place when I first moved to Philadelphia. And it was for a t-shirt printer, right? So I just needed a gig. The company that I moved there to be with kind of went under and I needed a job. And so they put me down and I lived like 5 minutes from the place. So, when you're super close to something, you're like, I'm gonna sleep in, I'll get there on time, whatever. And man, I did that. I was late all the time because I was, I just took it for granted. And I came in one day and it was owned by a family. And so the dude who was the brother who ran the art department was like, hey, Mike, just going home today, just going home. And I was like, yo, what do you mean going home? He's like, yeah, you're late. You've done it before. We talked about it. And I was like, well, am I fired? He's like, No, but I'm just gonna think about it. I'll let you know. But yeah, going home. So, dude, I went home. This dude scared me straight, son. I went home and was like, "Oh my God, I need this job. I don't know anybody here. I gotta pay rent. Blah blah blah." I went back there and I worked so hard that I went from being just a staff artist to the art director
Dude,
in like 6 months. So,
dude.
and I was, yeah. So sometimes you need that push, and I think that the student you had is kind of similar to that.
Yeah.
So we're gonna kick off one of our first segments called "What's Good."
All right.
So,
Nice.
Danny, what's good?
Come back to me.
Oh, you bum. All right. Okay. I didn't prepare for this segment. All right. Let's see what's good. All right. First of all, not incredible. Invincible. If you're not watching Invincible on Amazon, it's an amazing watch, and I would say give that a shot. It's very good. If you like adult animation, it's very edgy. Superheroes and all that, very good. So that's good. Also, I'm going to stick on the superhero genre and say, if you have Disney Plus and you just didn't watch Falcon and Winter Soldier because you didn't like the Winter Soldier, or you thought it was going to be corny or whatever, watch this week's episode, because this week's episode is what I have been waiting for in a Marvel film for a long time. It checked all the boxes for me. So I'm going to stick with just those two right now. But Danny, you ready to go now?
I would agree. Yes. And you know what? I thought this was the other segment. So I was bringing up artist websites. So
No. This is that segment. I just didn't.
No.
I was just, it's whatever you want to do. Whatever you're enjoying.
Cool. Well, so for the entertainment part, I will say I just wrapped up season 4 of Snowfall. Don't at me, Snowfall over the wire.
Okay.
That's my personal take. It's more even throughout, not as much ups and downs. And man, that show, I literally care about what happens to every single person on that show, good, bad, and different. Or at least I want to see how their stories resolve. So if you have never seen Snowfall, definitely check it out. And then the two gentlemen that were in here, I just want to give them a nice plug. So Angelo Martin is pretty amazing, right? This is the piece that he completed in the class. Yeah, it's beautiful. Okay. It's really, really beautiful, so he did a wonderful job, right? But if I'm being 100% honest, right, like maybe one thing probably from that class he maybe picked up for me, but he was already doing killer work way before that. So yeah,
can you drop his art station in the chat?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks,
yeah. Where's I have too many tabs open. There we go.
Because I'm going to add this.
Boom. Yeah, and then the other guy, Armando, I never know how to say your name right.
Danny,
right?
Danny. Put it in the chat for everybody.
I got it.
Oh, my bad. Thank you, Brad. I got it. I just threw it in the chat so wherever it's going. Nice. But Armando, is it Duerthy? I'm not sure how to say it right, so I don't want to mess it up. But Armando is phenomenal already, right? So you can see he's got some Thundercats action going right here. But technically and aesthetically, you can see he understands a lot of really good, like fundamental, like stuff to be a part of, a lot of industries. Yeah, I know he does a lot of work already for games and stuff like that. But yeah, for sure, if you check out his work, he's really, really amazing. I'll drop his in too. Brad, thank you for the assist in advance. I got it. I appreciate it. Cool. All right. And so that's my what's good.
Okay, I now that Danny has reminded me what the segment is supposed to be. I also want to share an art station as well. And so my friend Dave Wilkins
Oh yes.
is who I want to share. I'm going to put that in the chat. He is a beast. Dave is a comic book artist. Do I want to enter? There it is. Dave is a comic book artist that worked at Dark Horse Comics. He's currently doing work for Marvel and DC Comics. He works for Sideshow, and he's not just a comic guy. He's an illustrator. So when you look at his prints on Sideshow, fire, like just straight fire. So take the time to check him out if you guys aren't familiar with Dave's work.
Okay.
All right, Brad, what you got?
So I am going to share the every school's educating school's worst nightmare when it comes to like training people, and that is Danny Williams' blog. Okay, if you guys want to know all the ins and outs on how to do everything from retopology, from rendering, lighting, all these schools where Danny's teaching and everyone else is going. If you go to Danny's blog, you will level up, and I think Danny's blog is like the hidden gem on ArtStation. One of them. He won't take that credit, but I will tell you this: there's a lot of things you can learn from Danny, and I've decided to do before I even ask him a question, I check the blog first, and my answer's usually there, so I ain't got to ask him nothing.
Exactly. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
funny. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate that. But real quick, Dave Wilkins.
Yeah.
There's a store in LA called Stewart Inc. It's a bookstore in Torrance, I think, and it is like, if you've never been to their website and you like art books, man, don't go unless you want to spend some money. And if you go to the physical store, when going to a physical store becomes a thing again, he's got stuff from like conventions, right? So like if you like don't sell out at a convention, he can buy you books from you and all that stuff, and he sells them there. He has vintage art books, all kinds of really cool stuff in this little store. And I ran into Dave Wilkins there after learning about El Zombo and finding out about his art. And I just was like, and he looks like a literal superhero in real life.
He does,
dude.
Like,
he's like giant and just a wall of muscles. He looks like one of the characters that he draws. I was like mad intimidated. I was like, hey, Mr. Wilkins, I really like your book. Like, I sound like Jimmy Olsen, and he was just like, oh man, like, that's great. Like, he was super cool to talk to and all of that. So that's the only time I've ever like run into him. But he was just a super, super nice guy, as well as being crazy skilled. So
that's the thing, man. I was on the phone with him yesterday for a while, and he's working on some crazy projects. He's, and he works for Sony. And you would think that this would be somebody that's not accessible. This is what I was talking about in my stream yesterday for Pixelogic. It's like, we get to meet a lot of people who are killing it in the industry, and they're regular good dudes, man.
Yeah.
So he's that guy, like crazy talented, very cool.
So Mike, they said that Dave Wilkins, he does not have anything on his ArtStation. I believe I found his page on DeviantArt. He does a lot of comic book work, so I will share that. Oh wow, look at that. Sorry guys. No, it's cool, but I will also put it in this private chat, and you can triple check, but it seems like this is the guy this is his work that you're referring to.
Yeah. If you look up El Zombo, you'll find him for sure.
And go to Sideshow Collectibles and type in Dave Wilkins. He's got a ton of prints. He's actually finishing. He did what was it? Blade versus Wolverine series that he wrapped up not that long ago for Marvel. That is crazy, dude.
You said El Zombo?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So thank you everyone for joining us tonight. We have a few more minutes left. We're gonna end at 11 EST. We have over 50 people watching us across all of our stream, which is absolutely amazing. Thank you guys for
Thank
the
you.
first stream.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
What I will ask that if everyone right now who's watching us would go to our YouTube channel and like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. Right now we are renting out Mike's house. And at the end of May, we're going to completely shift over to our YouTube channel, and all of our recordings and our captions going to be there. So if you can, we have a goal of getting to 100 subscribers by the end of May. We would love to shoot that out of the park. So you guys know, for new channels on YouTube, there's certain measures that we have to be that we have to make in order to have things unlocked. And I want YouTube to pay for this work, right? We want to keep this free. We want to keep it open. We want to keep it available. So we definitely need you guys to go over to our YouTube channel and like and subscribe to that channel. Please, 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 because Mike's going to increase the rent soon.
That's right. I am charging them rent.
Meanie.
We have a comment that thanks a lot, guys, and hope to get to see more of the Stylus League. We will be here with your support. We will be here.
Yeah, thank you for checking it out.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Man, I can't wait till we get the first guest on here.
I know, dude.
So the guys, when we're done with the stream, they're still going to crank at it and work throughout the week. So, you know, when you see a dramatic change and jump come next Friday, they're going to make sure they put some speed sculpts up on our official YouTube channel. So you guys could freshen up and take a look at what they've done throughout the week and come fresh with any ideas that you see on Friday. So the goal is for you guys to be able to look at those time lapses. And if you have any questions with those, you can bring it into this and they can go back and answer any questions that you have. So we want to definitely make sure we generate work where you guys will ask questions. And, you know, just remember that whatever you ask the team, it helps rejuvenate them and help them keep coming back. And also all the other artists that we're going to have, they love questions. So you want to definitely ask them.
Yeah.
Now, this being our first episode, I just want to make one thing really super clear. So Mike and I have known each other for a very long time, and we've always talked about doing something, but it wasn't until Brad intervened that we actually decided to do this, right? And we've brainstormed about a lot of it, and I'm sure we'll continue to do that. Things will change over time. But, you know, I just got to say big shout out and thank you, Brad, for giving us the push that we needed. So thank you, man.
That's the thing, man. I have had brilliant ideas more times than I can count, and I've never followed through with those ideas. So it's nothing to come up with something that's a dope idea. It's the execution, and Danny is not kidding. Like, it's so funny that Bradley just happened to be a fan of both Danny and myself, and we've gotten to know him over the years, and he reached out to us and was like, hey, you guys should do something together. And we're like, yeah, we kind of talked about that a long time ago. Whatever happened to that? We got busy. That's what happened to it.
And he's also a dang good artist himself too, but
yeah, he
won't cop to it. So
yeah.
Our next question: has COVID changed has COVID changed where you guys where either of you work? So how has COVID impact the work environment for you two?
For me, not at all. For me, I've been working out of a home studio for several years, like a lot of years. And so this is nothing new for me. Danny's a studio guy. Danny, how's this affecting you, man?
So it's weird because I went virtual right before COVID. So
Yeah.
about 2 months before there were any lockdowns or anything like that, I was already virtual working from home. I was at that Activision studio and got cold called by DreamWorks to see if I could help out on a project, and negotiate a little bit. Everything worked out, and I went to go help on that project from home because I had a daughter who's in high school or was in high school at the time, and I was like, I can't like move her, right? So they agreed to let me work remote. So it didn't really change that much for me either, but I love working from home.
Yeah.
If I could literally call up a friend and be like, hey, let's go get lunch,
Yeah.
this would be perfect for me. I actually really like this.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I do too, man. And I've always, my motto is, outside is overrated. So I don't really do a whole lot of that. You know what I'm saying? I think people get all like, everybody loves the sun. Whatever, man.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know, man, because I live, in a place that gets, I mean, you do too, right? In a place that gets pretty cold,
Yeah,
Brad doesn't. Yeah, but like for me, man, there's nothing I like more than to go out on the back porch and just like soak up some sun, man. You kidding me? I love it.
Word? Yeah.
I love it. I
You
love
can have it.
And
You can have
in the summer, cold beer? What?
Oh,
Listen.
man.
They said now you can have lunch over Zoom.
Literally your name. Damn, man. Why you do that?
Oh, damn, man. What's up? Damn, man had a lot of questions yesterday in the stream. What's going on?
Nice.
Yeah, you know what? Everybody's all like, the sun is so great, man. I'm telling you what, it ain't all that. It's overrated.
You do like, you need a little sun, man.
Nah, I don't.
You know what? You know what it is, Danny? Because he got that Cintiq in his face, so he thinks it's the sun. He doesn't know any better.
Listen, I just know like, so it's spring here, right? I'm in upstate New York. So when you say New York, everybody thinks big buildings, big cities. Nah, it's like farms up here. So, and it gets way, way colder. It's way far north. It's a couple hours north of New York City. So with how cold it gets here, man, the few months that we get that are really hot, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
It's coming along, Mike. It's coming along.
Danny shamed me in the first segment. I got to try to come back a little bit.
Yeah, you're fighting back.
Yeah.
You're fighting back now.
Yeah, I ain't going out like that, son.
It's not a fight.
Well,
for you. I love it.
We have a fan from the Philippines. He says and the sun is always a factor in the Philippines.
Nice.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Now, if I could be on a tropical island, yeah. Well, they make pills for that. So,
What are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do with it? What are you supposed to do with it? I do have to give a shout out to my wife. During the COVID time, my wife said, you know what, if I'm gonna make any moves, like do something that I love to do. So she was really supportive. So thank you to the wife, because without my wife, we all would not be here right now to inspire me to keep moving forward. So thank you, wife.
Then shout out to Bradley's wife.
Yes, I co-sign. I feel exactly the same way. I'm so lucky to have the wife I have, man. It's insane. It's insane. I think about it sometimes and it really, really gets to me. It's crazy.
Amen. Good partner make all the difference in your life, brother.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, you're giving so our friend from the Philippines was saying he was the one that was asking you about all the Spider-Man processes yesterday. It was fire. Thank you for that.
Oh, good,
Nice.
good. I'm glad. Definitely glad. So, we got a half an hour now, Brad.
Yes.
What? Because this is our first official. This is not our first watch party, but this is our first God, I can't even talk. First official Stylus League watch party.
Yes.
How does it work? What's happening? We're waiting for
So
what's the
No
name?
Pain is our winner.
No Pain is winner.
He's our winner. I'm looking. I'm scouring Instagram and YouTube for him.
Okay.
But he is our winner. So
Okay.
we're gonna make sure we get him to step into that.
Okay. Now, because if we wanted to watch it tonight, we got to get a hold of him tonight, right? Or we got to wait.
Let's try. We'll get a hold of him tonight. I'm pretty sure we'll get a hold of him.
Okay, good.
Okay, so Harry asked, how do you enter to be a part of future watch parties? So the way you enter, so we're gonna try to make sure this is a mainstay in our streaming process. So one, for the watch parties, you definitely gotta have the platforms that we are watching the shows on. So you need to make sure if we're doing Hulu or HBO or Netflix or something like that, you have to have access to those platforms. But by going into our YouTube channels and asking questions. So only by asking questions and commenting on our YouTube content can you be a selected winner. So the more questions you ask is the more times I'm collecting all the names of people who are commenting and asking questions. More importantly, asking questions. So asking questions get you into the pot to join a watch party.
So is it questions more than comments? Is it
Yes,
both?
it's definitely questions, because if we go off of comments, we'll have everyone in.
And regular comments like, I like purple.
I like purple. That don't count. That don't count.
Yeah.
Now, behind the scenes, something to discuss. I think in the future there's another way to do this too. Yeah, but we'll talk about it, and then if everybody digs it, then we'll come back.
You just broke the fourth wall. How many walls? You broke whatever that wall is.
Sorry.
You're not supposed to do that.
No, I'll say this though. I'll say this. To me, that's one of the most interesting aspects about this process, right? So we're three creative people, and all of us have different ideas, whatever. And throughout this, what's been really nice is I think we're all sort of tripping over ourselves to respect the other people's ideas a little bit, right? But it's like in that there's a really nice synergy, I think, that's coming out of this, like, I'm digging this. Even though Bradley's mean to me.
So Mike, you have a individual who it's 4:30 a.m. for him, and he's coming back from your Zebra stream, and he wants the happy trails. So
wow, that's that person. Yes,
Brutus, I promised you that I'll make sure you get it. So what I will ask you to do is send me a DM either on Instagram. My Instagram ID is mlcreative3d. ML Creative 3D. Shoot me a direct message, and I'll make sure you get that. And thank you.
We'll have that before. You'll have that before I go to bed tonight. Yeah, 100%. For the simple fact that you're in here at 4 something in the morning. Yeah, I'm going to give you that and a smiley face and a thumbs up to that as well.
So that's ML Creative 3D on Instagram. Send me a message. I will make sure you get that, and I definitely remember you.
Yeah. Funny story. Also,
Mike, we got a question for you.
Okay, hold on one second. So that Happy Trails that everybody loves, that is a brush that Brad Grotman and I worked on. So he actually came to me with a brush that was dope, and my part in that was I came up with the name. Thank you very much. That was the hard part. Right, Brad? I think he's still in here. What was the question? I'm sorry. Distract had a question.
Yeah. So the question is, when you do a ZBrush illustration, which finishing touch programs do you use? Is it Corel Painter or Photoshop mostly to finish touches?
I use them both. So what I'll do is if I'm using it for reference, or if I'm using it to do a paint over, I'll just show you something that I'm working on. So I'm working on this Lewis Hamilton right now for this F1 magazine, and
which looks amazing.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah.
So for this, I use Painter because I can get like all of the kind of strokes that I would have back when I was, working by hand on cold press illustration board. I have all that in here. So what I'll normally do, I just did a project for an HBO thing today that was a rush. I'll work in Painter, and then I'll take it over to Photoshop and I'll do like color correction, or if I have to work on the likeness, then I can use like the liquify tool or whatever. I use them, kind of hand in hand, and I think that I get the best result that way. So yeah, what happened to Danny's screen? What you doing?
You were showing your art piece, so I was showing the world.
Okay.
Don't worry about behind the door. Don't worry about behind the door. Keep doing what you're doing.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
That's me for that direct message.
So Danny, real talk. We are almost 2 hours into our first show.
Yep.
Into our project. We only get 2 more of these.
Yep.
To get her done. How what do you think? Is this still a great idea?
I do, because we're gonna work during the week. You know what I mean? So yeah, we're not actually like doing it all right here. Now, one thing I do, so one of the things we've been talking about behind the scenes, everybody, is the whole the idea of treating ourselves like a client, right? Like, I want to finish this piece in this amount of time and spend this much energy on it, and then learn what I can from it and move on, right? So one of the things we talked about doing was, when we come back next week, for example, saying, hey, here's what we did during the week. Here's where you can find our time-lapse videos from the week. And this is the progress I made. Here's what it was, and here's what it is, right? The other thing I think we should do before we take off tonight, maybe, if you're into it, is, hey, what are your intentions? Let's take a look at where we are and what are your intentions for the week. And then, because for me, a lot of this is all about accountability, right? So it's just keeping myself accountable to doing the things I say I'm going to do with this stuff. So being able to do that and just say, hey, here's my plan. And then next week, come in and go, well, this is how much of my plan I was able to execute this week. And here's how much I'm going to have to make up if I didn't get to it all, right? So that's basically,
Right. You can tell that Danny comes from a very pipeline-oriented background, because I'm way more shoot from the hip. But I got to be accountable too, right? Because I don't want to look like a clown up in here. So that's going to help me out. We talked about the fact that the reason we were super excited about doing this, in addition to, seeing other people's workflow and being able to, hang out with each other and have a good time, is that we're exposing each other to different types of methods of getting things done, right? Things that might be faster or more streamlined. And so this is good for me, man, because like, you know, I can, we both agree. It's one thing when you have a client that if you mess up, you're not going to be able to keep that client. And so you get her done no matter what. But you know, when you're the client, you're like, I'll do it tomorrow. You know, I work on it tomorrow, man.
Yeah.
So
I never knew this term before I was at the studio locally here, the Activision studio I was at. I never knew the term time boxing, but it was something I was always doing innately, and that is, you know, I've worked with a lot of people who say, well, based on their own sort of personal standards, right? They would go, someone from production would say, hey, you have this amount of time to achieve this.
Yeah.
And they would go, oh, you know, yeah, sure, I could do it. And then they would go through and then go, oh, you know what? I still need to do this, and this. I'm gonna need a couple of days.
Right.
And they build in little buffers like that behind the scenes. You know, they know. But if you do that too much, it can hurt you. And I've always had the attitude of like, you know, if you tell me to do something in 3 days, I'm going to do the best job I can in 3 days. If you tell me to do that same thing in 5 days, I'm not going to get it done in 3 days. I'm going to do the best job I can in 5 days now. Right.
Okay.
And of course, there's limits, right? Like some stuff you just don't need more time, and some stuff you always would love more time. So there's limits, but it's like that time boxing. That's the way I'm treating this stuff, where it's like, okay, we got 3 weeks. I'm literally budgeting like, you know, an hour or two at most a day to like work. You know what I mean? When I get up in the morning before regular work, is probably when I'm going to work on this stuff. And it's like trying to imagine sort of, okay, well, if I do that for the next 5 days, where do we end up, right? If I take a couple of days off.
Sure.
And I need that. I need to do that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Because I don't do that. I've become very adept at I don't want to say robbing Peter to pay Paul, but if I know that I have, you know, a project that I'm working on, and I have and it's due on Friday, and you know, somebody hits me up with something that is look, I need this thing, and, you know, can you give it to me either on the weekend or, you know, maybe, you know, can you get it to me in a few days or whatever? If I'm in a good place with my job, I'll stay up late or, you know, do whatever I can. I'll still work on the thing that's due on Friday, but I might pull an all-nighter to get the other thing done. And then the next day I feel like garbage, but I'm getting, you know, both things to the client and everybody's happy. And I look like a rock star. You know what I mean? Yeah. Sometimes I'm in a better place where, you know, if it's due on Friday and I know that I can get it done on Wednesday, and then, you know, I can, you know, work on portfolio or, you know, do something else that I might need to do, then I'll do that as well. You know.
Right. Cool. Let me get to some of these questions. So Brutus, you can email stylusly2021@gmail.com and we'll get you to Happy Trails brushes. You don't have Instagram, so we'll take care of that. Yeah. We have another question for both Danny and Mike. So in his last job where he had to sculpt furniture for renders, I'm so sorry. Any advice to make out without so many polys? So his last project, he had about 30 million polys. He wants to know, how can he make furniture without so many polys to get it down? So let's go with Danny. Danny, see if you can take a stab at that one.
Sure. If it's stuff that like you need to prep for print or something like that, then there's a whole set of concerns. But assuming that that's not the case and you're not printing anything and you're making images, I think there's a number of things you could do. You could try decimation. You could try retopology and reprojecting. You know, so yeah, there's a bunch of things like that you can do. It's almost more like a character-centric workflow, but applied to, you know, a different subject matter, right? So yeah, the big ones for me would be decimation and re-topology and reprojection. Even if you do just z-remesher for your retopology, because I'm assuming you're not going to have articulating, deforming furniture. So something like z-remesher is probably right up your alley. So,
All right, cool. We have another question. Do you guys ever feel stuck trying to get anatomy perfect? Something I struggle with, seems to eat most of my time on a project.
Mike?
Yeah, so I stress about anatomy because it's one of those things where you can't really hide when you do something that's wrong. You know what I mean? Like, people generally, doesn't matter how good it looks, if you have like your your pec and your deltoid aren't meeting up correctly, people are going to go right to that and see it, and they're going to comment on it. And so I kind of learned the hard way on the forums on Facebook and social media that there are what I like to call the anatomy Nazis out there that live for pointing out people's mistakes. These to me are the guys who, God bless them, but they've gone to school, they've gotten a very good education, they've learned all kinds of terms, and they want to tell everybody what they know, right? So it's scary to get called out by those guys, especially in a public forum. So yeah, I always stress about anatomy, and that's why generally what I do is I don't show it until it's to a point where I'm pretty confident that it looks right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why this kind of project right here is very scary, actually.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that's why what we're doing is a little bit scary because yeah.
All right, got another question. What can you do to make sure you can deliver on time, especially for newer artists that experience all sorts of issues, whether technical or creative?
Give yourself mini deadlines. So like if I say tonight, hey, next week, I want to have a fully sculpted body and I want to have the head resolved and I want to have a draw over from the body of the costume. All right, cool. So those are like several tasks. And now I can start to break down for during the week. Okay, to hit those tasks, if I break them down evenly, it's going to be 2 days on this one, 2 days on this one, 2 days on this one, right? And by time boxing it like that, I know if I get really far with, say, the body in a day, then I go, okay, cool, I'm ahead of schedule. If I start dropping behind and go, oh man, I'm almost the full 2 days in and I'm nowhere near that, then I have some decisions to make. Either I'm going to stop working on the body and do those other two things and check those off, or I'm going to, say, okay, I'm going to take a little bit of time from something else and put it towards this first task so I can really complete it, right? So giving yourself mini tasks inside of your deliverable, to me, is a really great way to measure your progress. So that's one thing I like to do.
I agree.
You have anything to add on that? Do you agree?
No, I think he nailed it.
All right, we have another question. Ebony, so he says, hi, I was in yesterday's Pistologic stream and was wondering if there's any tips on how to UV wrap a sculpt with a mouth bag in ZBrush, or do you have to just take it in Maya? Thank you. I remember this question, and I told this
I do too.
For Danny.
Yeah. So Danny, do your thing, son.
Yeah, sure. If it's a character, I usually do my UV mapping in Maya. Even though it's not, sort of one button automatic, it is more articulate and more directable. So you can get it to exactly what you need it to be. So I'm biased in that respect. I use ZBrush more when I don't know what the shape is, when I'm trying to find the shape, or when I need to make like big mass changes to a shape. But I will rely on Maya for things more like technically, usually. So yeah, that would be my advice. Would be use it in Maya. there's not a great way. There's a few like hacky ways to get articulate UVs out with UV Master, but personally, I find they still never look as good as they do in Maya, and the hassle you go through trying to get them to look as good, you might as well just go ahead and knock it out in Maya. That's my take.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. And also, Danny's blog has a lot of detail information on polys, like retoppling, and he covers a lot of that in that too. So check out his blog. Harry says, "Good night, fellas. Definitely keep this going. Super stoked to see Danny back in action. Big inspirations to him, and he still has your art book he picked up at CT.
Oh my god! Oh my god! I'm so sorry. Wow. I'm so sorry, bro. But thank you.
Yo, I like his icon too. That's very cool. The Gamma Studios thing was hot. I like
Nice.
that.
All right, we have another question from our friend in the Philippines. Do you ever feel like you don't have any drive anymore to work on repetitive project that keeps you coming back? What do you do to escape that kind of slump?
You want to take that one?
Yeah, as far as the drive thing goes, it's usually with my own projects. And, as everybody in the room knows, there's projects that I get to almost completion and I lose interest in them, and they just kind of sit in a folder. So I think that this exercise, right? This is like a social exercise we're doing, is going to help me to get better at that. But I mean, I think that's something that all artists do. We do something, it's like a shiny new toy, and then after a while we get tired of it and we put it down and we move on to something else.
Yeah.
What about you, Danny? How do you stay interested in a project?
I was going to say I have the same problem, right? That's a big part of why we're doing this, really, to commit in public to doing this. So I guess the answer is, start a live stream.
Yeah, exactly.
Make you do it.
Exactly.
But the other thing too is like, why are you doing the thing that you're doing, right? Because if it's for a client, then it's commerce, right? It's money. But if it's something that you're doing personally too, I find a lot of times when I don't have the right motivation, that's when I get really bored. I just want to make a cool thing, and that's when I get really, really bored by it. But if I'm doing something to learn something specifically, like something related to anatomy or composition or color or whatever, then I don't get bored as much because I have a metric to measure as I go. Right. So it's like, oh yeah, am I still learning? No. Okay. Well, what do I need to do? Maybe it is abandon it. But if I'm, trying to go for color and I'm spending a whole bunch of time on a sculpt, okay, stop doing the sculpt and go get to the color. Right. So yeah, having clear goals, I think, is a good thing.
Absolutely.
Got another question. So this is for you, Danny. How many iterations would you have to give Activision before they made a choice on what you came up with to use in a game?
It depends. Sometimes it would be 1, sometimes it would be 50, right? It just depends. And I started there as a character artist, and I ended up moving into the concept department. And one of the things for anybody that's made that transition in the past, it's tough because for modeling, success is you throw it over to the riggers and it never comes back because technically it's correct. But with any kind of art related stuff, it's more like you do a thing, you show it to a bunch of other creative people, they're going to have notes, and then you go back and you make revisions and you show multiple versions of almost everything you do. So with that stuff, I almost never, if I one-shotted something, it was super great, but it's rare. It just doesn't happen in that environment, at least not for me.
I'm gonna hack up his name, but the Marco says, I have to go, Masters. Thank you very much for sharing your knowledge. You are a great inspiration to him and helped him a lot. And you know, you helped his imagination. So he said thank you.
Awesome, thank you. Please come back again. Tell a friend if you enjoyed the stream. We want to grow this community, and we really appreciate you being here, man. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Another question to you, Mike. Yeah. So, Mike, how do you balance staying sharp between Corel Painter and ZBrush?
Use them both all the time. That's actually the truth. Like, so I tend to find myself in ZBrush almost, if not every day. And when I'm doing client work, I am 95% of the time painting something in Painter. So just staying in both of those applications a lot has got me very, very well tuned to both of them. That's it. Yeah.
So 5-minute warning, guys. So I would just want to ask everyone that's watching, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and to please go over to our YouTube channel and subscribe to that channel. We're gonna stay on Mike's home for at least 30 more days. After that, we gotta move our bags and we gotta move to our own channel, and we have a goal of getting up to 100 subscribers on our personal channel by the end of May. That will open up some doors for us to allow us to get YouTube and ads to pay for this free content. So please go there. And also remember that Mike has a Gumroad up.
Let me pull it up real quick.
I'm
gonna show the people what I'm selling them real quick while you're doing this.
Show them. So you have to the end of the month to pre-order that. It's $25 now for all pre-orders. For those who pre-order, you're going to get a custom paint over from Mike and a shout out once it's released. And also in May, it's going to go up to $60, but it's still a great price. But why wait then when you get it for $25?
That's right. $25, you get
$25.
Get a shout out on my social media for pre-ordering, getting it early. You get a digital print of the character that's gonna be something that is probably along these kind of lines, but finished. And and like Brad said, a whole lot of content. So that's on my Gumroad, which is Mike T Artworks. And I appreciate the sales, you guys. Thank you, Brad. So like Bradley was saying, I think we're going to stick to this 2-hour format. This is a nice sweet spot for us where it keeps you hungry for more, and we're not overstaying our welcome. Also, to the people, seriously, who are watching us in different time zones, like crazy time zones where it's like 3 and 4 in the morning, hats off to you guys. You're the reason why we're doing this. We love the dedication. So
yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Brad, so are we going to, we don't have any contests this week, right? There's nothing coming out soon.
So there's nothing coming out soon, but you know what I was thinking?
What you thinking?
Maybe whoever leaves questions that you guys could do a personal review of their ArtStation, critique and feedback. What do you think,
like a portfolio review? Yeah,
portfolio review.
Yeah, I like that.
Danny, and you can do it live with them. How do you feel about that, Danny?
I feel like, you can't be volunteering my time like, no, I'm just kidding. Absolutely. Yeah, that sounds great.
Don't touch Mr. Batty.
You know what the best thing about having two of you, when one of you don't want to, I'll just go to the other one.
Ooh, he plays against each other?
He does play one against the other a lot.
That's terrible.
But you know what? I can only say that's gonna come back and bite you, my friend. Your kid's gonna be doing that to you, son. Same thing.
They already do.
There you go.
I learned it from you.
All right, guys. So say your good nights.
All right. Bye,
All right,
everyone.
hold on. Before we
we
go,
go? Yeah.
let's both do a quick review and then state what we want to do for next time.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. Sorry. So
Who's
pencils
going
down.
first?
Pencils down.
Yep,
Danny, you go
pencils
first.
down. All right, so I got
Give
most of the
Danny
main
full picture.
core of the body blocked out. I got to play with the proportions a bit and definitely bulk them up a little.
Okay.
His legs feel a little short to me, so I'll play with the proportions. I'll try to get the entire body and face blocked out, and try to do some drawovers for the costume and pose. That's
Okay.
going to be my homework.
Okay. All right. And I am going to also work on the proportions and the anatomy of him. I think that I got a decent base going on here. So what I'll do is I'll keep tweaking the anatomy. Just like Danny, I think my legs are looking crazy right now. And so I'll be doing some whip posts of that on QuickTime as well.
Yep.
So what I have to talk about so what I plan to have for next week, is that we do like homework? What are we doing?
Yeah, sort of like, what's your goal?
So goal for next week is to have the basic anatomy done, get into the pose and start refining and adding clothing and gear and all that stuff.
Nice.
Okay.
All right.
Sweet.
So one thing I want to add with both of your art showing on the screen right now, I want everyone to know that, it takes time and dedication and work. We all start somewhere to get something to look spectacular. There's no magic to it. It's just work and keep going and keep pushing.
Yeah.
So,
And
thank you all.
Ryan Kingsland has a very, very brilliant saying that I think applies to this day, and it's you got to be prepared to work your way through the valley of the suck.
Of the suck. Yep.
Of the
100%.
suck. Exactly. So I'm pretty ensconced in that valley right now, and I plan to trudge my way out.
Yeah, I'm still look at you ensconced and trudged at 11 p.m. on a Friday. My
Let
goodness.
me Google it.
Cheers to you, my good gentleman.
Cheerio, pip pip, sir.
Pip.
All right.
Nice.
Have a good night, everyone.
All right. Bye, guys. Thank you for joining
Thank you, guys.
See you next week.